Once, in a quiet forest, there lived a crow who was constantly unhappy with his appearance. Every time he looked at himself in the water's reflection, he felt dissatisfied. "Why am I so plain? My feathers are dull, and my voice is harsh. I'm nothing compared to the beautiful birds around me," he thought. One day, filled with frustration, the crow flew to the edge of the forest where an old Stoic philosopher resided. The philosopher was known for his wisdom, and animals often came to him with their troubles. The crow perched before him and said, "Wise one, I am deeply troubled. I don't like the way I look. When I look at myself, I see nothing but dull black feathers and a harsh voice. But then I see the swan, the parrot, and the peacock, and I feel so inferior. The swan is so graceful with its white feathers. The parrot is colorful and can mimic human speech. And the peacock has the most beautiful feathers of all. Why can't I be like them?" The philosopher looked at the crow with a calm, understanding expression. "I see," he said. "You have compared yourself to others, but the comparisons you make are based on only part of their lives. There is more to beauty and greatness than what meets the eye. I will not answer your question right away, but I will give you a task. Go and meet these birds you admire, the swan, the parrot, and the peacock. Spend time with them and observe their lives closely. Then come back and tell me what you have learned." The crow, although puzzled, agreed. He flew off in search of the birds. The crow's first stop was the swan. The swan was gliding gracefully across a calm lake, her white feathers shimmering in the sunlight. The crow marveled at her beauty and approached her, saying, "Oh, swan, you are so beautiful. Your feathers are pure and white, and you glide so effortlessly across the water. I wish I could be as elegant as you." The swan looked up at the crow and smiled gently. "Thank you, crow. It's kind of you to say that. But what you see is not the whole picture. Yes, my feathers are admired, but they also make me a target. Hunters often chase me, and I live in constant fear of being captured. I can't roam freely like you. I must always be on guard." The crow was surprised. He had never considered that the swan's beauty might bring her trouble. He thanked her and flew off to find the parrot. The parrot. Next, the crow visited the parrot, who was perched on a branch in the dense jungle, surrounded by the vibrant colors of the trees. The parrot's feathers were a stunning mix of greens, reds, and blues. His voice was melodic, and he could mimic the sounds of humans. The crow approached and said, "Parrot, you are so colorful and admired by everyone. Your voice is so beautiful, and you can even speak like humans. I wish I could be as gifted as you." The parrot chuckled and replied, "Ah, crow, I appreciate your kind words. But do you know what my life is like? I have spent most of it in a cage, performing tricks for humans. They love my colors and my voice, but I am trapped by their admiration. I can't fly freely like you can. You, crow, are free to explore the skies and the forest without being confined to a cage. I would trade my gifts for your freedom in a heartbeat." The crow was taken aback. He had never thought of admiration as something that could be limiting. He thanked the parrot and flew off to meet the peacock. Finally, the crow found the peacock in a large, beautiful garden. The peacock was surrounded by people who marveled at its magnificent tail feathers. The crow, amazed by the peacock's beauty, sighed, "Peacock, you are the most beautiful bird I have ever seen. Your feathers are magnificent, and everyone admires you. I wish I could be as beautiful as you." The peacock sighed and replied, "Yes, I am admired for my beauty. But have you ever considered the burden of being beautiful, crow? My feathers are heavy and cumbersome. I can hardly fly with them. People come to see me, but I can't go anywhere without being the center of attention. It's exhausting, and I envy birds like you who can roam freely, unnoticed and unburdened by beauty." The crow was shocked. Each bird he had envied had its own struggles and challenges. They all seemed to admire something about him, his freedom. Thanking the peacock, the crow flew back to the philosopher. The philosopher's lesson. The crow returned to the philosopher and said, "Wise one, I have learned much. The swan is admired for her beauty, but her life is filled with fear and hiding. The parrot is loved for its colors and voice, but it is confined to a cage. The peacock's magnificence makes it a constant spectacle, and it cannot even fly properly. I see now that what I once envied in others comes with its own burdens." The philosopher smiled. "You have learned an important lesson. Crow, the comparisons you made were based only on external appearances and talents. But the truth is, every creature has its own challenges. You, with your plain black feathers and freedom to fly wherever you please, have something they all envy. You see, true contentment comes not from comparing yourself to others, but from appreciating your own unique gifts. Instead of wishing to be someone else, embrace who you are and make the most of what you have." The crow, now filled with newfound understanding, felt lighter and more content. For the first time, he saw himself not as dull or plain, but as a bird with unique abilities and freedom. From that day on, he soared through the skies with pride, thankful for the life